expectations of you in the relationship that you're in is the most important thing. Is to find out what you want. Now, no one's ever going to get exactly what they want.
Never.
But you can get expectations on how you want to be loved.
How you want to be treated.
And how you want to be treated.
Please, brother.
So you present yourselves as that open vessel.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that some people or some women or some men tend to give their goods away in expectations of what they perceive as a relationship. Now, the other person may take that and say, why submit myself into this relationship when I have the package already here?
Oh, so why buy the milk?
So for me, it is up to the individual person to respect themselves as they want to be loved. And they come into that saying, look, you're going to have to work for this. I'm not nothing easy. And this comes from a man or woman.
That's true.
I'm nothing easy. But when I love, I'm going to love true. I'm going to be in this. But for you to want me to be in this, you're going to have to show me that you're willing to wait, you're willing to have patience, and you're willing to work out. Because any relationship, you're always going to wake up and know something about that person different. So relationship is something that continually goes on day by day, year by year. You'll never really get to know that person. It is a growing experience.
And you got to be willing to put in the work.
Break it down a different way. Okay, we're going to get into a conversation. What he's, in essence, seems to be talking about is sex.
Yeah.
When he's talking about the good. Hold up.
Which it should not. Let him say what he got to
He's
say.
talking about a sexual relationship.
Basically, you giving it up too easily. Don't give it up too easy.
Let's be very clear. Wait,
There's
there's no such thing as giving it up too easy. I know people who done met someone on the first night, one night stand, and been married for 20 years
30
now.
years.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's about the person you are encountering. Everyone doesn't have the sixth sense to pick up what type of person you are with, but I feel like after the first night, sexual or not, you know what type of person you're encountering.
Yeah, but I wasn't really
And you
necessarily
know
saying
how-
sex.
I'm
I'm saying no. I'm saying goods is that inner part of you.
Yes.
The inner part of you that you want to share with the person that you want to be with. It is not all about sex. It's about the trust. It's about the look. It's about you're entering and saying, look, this woman brings this to the table. This man brings this to the table. I want to share this part of who I am, not just physically, but emotionally is the key. Physically, you can go in and out. If you build your relationship on something physical, then you just waiting for destruction to take truth. I mean, because
Mitch, what you got to say, bro? You nodding about it. So what you got to say? You think he's on point?
Women's all my life.
I appreciate that.
Mitch got something to say.
I gotta go back.
I love women. I was raised to be a gentleman. So I never took advantage of women. I always had my own place. I don't know. So I should have more.
I always got my
I
own.
always had my own place, more money, car. I don't know. I was just raised by.
I mean-
women, so I have an admiration for them.
Okay, nice. Vincent, she speaks to a spiritual component. Can you speak on that a little bit for us?
I mean, this world is just built around being spiritually connected.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be compatible. A lot of us, we proceed to look and build things off of what we see, not knowing the inner person.
Right.
You know, you have to be able to see the inner person, to know that person, to see if you're compatible for that person. And that takes time. Or it could be something that you just feel and know when you meet that person within that first 2-3 weeks. It's a possibility. But you have to give yourself that process to be able to say, I can deal with this, because one person's going one way and the other is going, eventually that's what's going to happen in life. If one person is motivated and the other person's not motivated, or like when you say,
Athena or Linda?
yes, I'm sorry. I think when you say, you're basically saying, look, nigga, you got to bring something to the table that's worth building on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like you gotta have these things. And this young sister right here said the same thing. Yeah. That you have to bring something to the table and don't disturb my peace. But in relationship, to be honest with you, when you're around a person 24/7, the peace gonna get disturbed. But that's when the rubber touches the road, is when they say, you know what? She disturbed my peace, but I like being around her. Even though I'm angry with her, I still love her. Even though he gets on my nerves, but he's in my nerves. He's in my system. He's a part of me. And you can build on relationships like that. I mean, we get so watered down with TV. Reality relationships is just what you see on TV, and we can't build our relationships on this reality stuff that's not really reality. It's all made up. And relationship, you have to have time to build a relationship. But the most important thing is that you have to have trust.
Let me say this. Let me say something.
Well said, my man.
Let me say
Well
something
said.
real quick.
I want to talk about something really quick and switch it up a little bit. Hold on. I talked to my man TJ here prior to the show, and we had a conversation about what we were going to talk about. And he had an opinion about some things that he wanted to get off his chest a little bit.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't remember what that is.
I'm gonna remind you.
I don't remember what that is.
I'm gonna remind you.
Okay.
You talked about being this is a successful single man, owns his own properties, good business, a world traveler,
I got $2.
driving Ferraris or whatever that car is he's driving. I know it's a 2-seater. All that going on, right?
Just came
But
from Italy.
He doing that shit.
always coming from some spot. I've known
Exactly.
him since he was, from the jump. Good dude. Single, still.
Like us, LA
What's
cat.
wrong with being
LA
single?
cat, like the twins. But he's a good dude. But he talks about what he goes through and expectations when he's dealing with different females in his life when he meets. Speak to it a little bit. What is it like to be a single, successful, young
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
black man?
You make it sound super epic. So
TJ.
first off, from the start of this podcast, we've been talking about relationship. We said it about 50 times. We never
Right.
defined it.
Go ahead.
Let me, if you allow me, with your grace. Look at the prefix of the word. Means to do over, repeat, remember, rewind, to do over again.
Come on, man.
Lay, like a relay race. I'm handing something off to you. Who hands it off to another person? It's cyclical.
Mhm.
Kinship, which means union of interaction.
Okay.
So to agree with my sister Athena over here when she says that brothers come to a relationship and don't bring anything, That's the thing. You have to put in what you expect to get
Mhm.
out. So if I'm expecting this from you and you can do it, then you see what I'm saying? It's sort of the I think XXX Tentacion spoke about it. It's the
I
law
love
of
him.
it's the law
You
of
love him?
equivalent exchange.
Yes.
You love him?
I love him.
Okay,
The
keep going.
17 album
Yeah,
is
go
my
ahead,
favorite.
It's the law of
We're gonna follow him up.
Nah, that's real.
Go ahead, keep going. T.
Right. So it's the law of equivalent exchange, right? So I look at it from that perspective. So I don't come in and meeting someone and asking them or having the expectation of her that I'm not expecting to do.
Okay.
But like one of the brilliant sisters over here said is that like some people come unprepared into a relationship. They're bringing trauma. They have empty holes in them, and they're expecting someone else to feel that. And they're like, "Hey, I don't have that problem, and I don't have enough. I don't want to feel that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to feel all that in there. You know what I mean? So someone could be essentially, because we're all human, broken, and expecting someone to fix them. And to relate to what my brother said over here, to the dudes that you might know that was sitting
Mitch.
around doing nothing. Pookie and Ray Ray. That's what I'm gonna call them, Pookie and Ray Ray. So for Pookie and Ray Ray, as Black men, we have to take a level of accountability for that because we're not around to even teach them how to have any type of emotional stability and things like that. Some of the most gangster brothers I've known are the most sensitive. And their woman will let you know. I'm like, he's crying? He wants some cookies? What? He didn't have his father. So we have to take a certain sense of accountability or responsibility for that. Because if we were doing what we were supposed to do, there wouldn't be no Pookie and Ray Ray. See what I'm saying? And hold on, but on top of that, I gotta shift this over to the women because you're selecting them. So once again, another thing, since we happen to mostly be Black here, we have a disparity with two parents in the home. And you know us, we always gone. That affects the women too. How does she select the man? Remember Bad Boys 2, Martin Lawrence. He comes, we don't have enough of us answering the door to qualify these brothers. So Pookie comes in and does whatever he's gonna do. And a female, and it's okay to be young and make a mistake. You know what I mean? But the thing is that you see what I'm saying? It's almost like there's women that have to take accountability for that selection process. However, it's our fault too because we're producing these Pookie and Ray Rays. Obviously, some of these brothers come in, they're like, "Oh, I don't need no condom. Don't worry about it. Yep, I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna play PlayStation." You know? and some of our women accept this. That's the thing. Some of our women accept this. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things on with men and women, and I think that's what I was saying. So it's not necessarily.
Why do you think women? Why do you think, to Tylen's statement? Why do you think women accept it? Because it's better to be with someone than to be alone.
Right.
Yeah.
You can wait. Who's going
Wait, so-
hold
so
on,
answer your question.
everybody, hold on.
Yeah.
See,
How do you
they-
grow up?
the ladies are saying, Lindsay and Athena are saying something I'm new to in terms of what I'm hearing.
Trauma bond.
Yeah, I've never heard that term before. Okay,
Trauma
bonding.
elaborate on
Give me a
that.
little more elaborate on that.
referred as love bombing too.
Hold on, I want to hear what they're
Love
talking
bonding
about.
is a
Wait,
that's
okay,
different.
but Maria, for the audience, everybody, for the audience, can you please give a definition? We're probing.
What's
You
trauma?
clarify. What does trauma bonding? What does that mean?
You want me to go by the Google way, or you want me to just go by?
I'm just saying.
Whatever you want to tell us. Whatever you want to tell us. No. Whatever you want to
Trauma bonding is the only form of bond you have with someone, significant other, friendship is through trauma. Only way we've bonded is because we can equally relate that we've been raped. We can equally relate that our father was missing in the house. We can equally relate that we've dealt with pieces of shit ass men.
So,
Trauma,
wait.
that's
You're
our
saying
only
that
form of
trauma
bond.
bonding with a woman and a man
In
is
general, it
related
doesn't
to
matter.
what
It's a
they.
woman and
So
a woman.
they've had a bad breakup, and so they're coming together and things.
So
like
that's called empathy.
Basically, it's product of your environment.
The man is just
Hey, product of your environment.
And they never healed from what they was broken from. They come to the relationship no shadow work, present, nothing.
Do you think people jump into relationships too soon?
Yeah, I'm definitely one of them. I'm avoiding myself.
Oh,
There's no healing work, no shadow work, none of that shit in present. I definitely tend to jump in one to avoid myself, and I'm looking for that person to distract me from it. And that's the problem. That's the problem right there.
Lalita.
And you guys meet at the point that you decide to meet at. You can microwave this shit. If you know what you want and he knows what he wants and y'all can meet where y'all need to meet, then why are we wasting time?
Yeah,
we have 100.
But that's different.
Yeah, I'm with it when it's two whole people, but there are some situations where, like you said, you're not quite there. You still got this baggage, you carrying stuff. But when you done the work and you ready to go and he ready to go, let's do it.
Hell yeah, I'm down with that. We both on the same page. Hell yeah, let's
go.
get this started.
What we waiting on?
Yes.
You can't get time back. It does not rewind. That's the most precious thing in life.
Because even if you get to know someone in a short amount of time and you guys decide to either still be friends or get into a relationship, a person can still switch up 5, 10, 20 years from now.
But that's a chance you take, though.
Yeah.
It's
a risk.
Love is a chance and a risk. If you don't make risk and chance, then you'll never know.
And I hate that people look at love like it's some kind of risk. Because if you really, was it even real? Love is a risk. It is real. If you love that person, if it was real, it doesn't even matter where that person at.
Roy and I will speak to
Honestly,
this a little bit. We'll speak to this a little bit. We're the products of a mother and a father who were married until death did part. 38 years, 11 kids, and we're the babies of that.
Come on.
So we believe in the institution of marriage. Doesn't mean it always works out for us, but we still believe in it. We always have, and we always will, in relationships and commitments and things like of that nature. I also think as a whole, as we talk about this conversation about relationships, we are all a product of our environments and our last experiences. Relationships come and go, ebb and flow, but what shapes us are the relationships that we start to foster even at an early age. It starts with parental responsibilities and the things that we see. We have daughters, we have one and the other, and they look to us and say, golly, I want to meet a man that was probably like my father or similar, to speak to that. And the closer they get to that part of it, the better they feel comfortable with. But then there doesn't always mean fathers are great. There are bad fathers. There are mothers who are not the best mothers who are in their lives, and sometimes they can be bad examples, but sometimes they can be good examples. We're a replica of what it's like when you wake up in the morning and hear your parents' laughter together after having 11 kids, and they're still the closest thing in their lives are them until my father passed away. So we believe in it. And that's part of the reason why we want to talk about relationships. There's a lot going on in today's world. There's a lot of things going on when I look at this world, it's like social media has a big impact. I was talking to someone who wanted to come here today and wasn't able to make it. And she talked about Instagram and Instagram women and models and things like that. And guys have this perception of what women are like now based on the things that they see on the internet. And there's an expectation. And she's like, I ain't down with all that. I'm me. I'm who I am. I'm not that person or this person or whatever. She talks about the struggles of what it's like to be or pursue as a single Black woman in relationships right now. And that goes across all race lines, by the way. She's a sister, but she talks about all what the challenges are for you ladies. There are men who have expectations too. They see a lot of women out there presenting themselves a certain kind of a way. And then there's an expectation for them to get involved in relationships and pursue that. So we understand all of that, as we bring this conversation to a close.
My thing is this.
Speak on it a little bit too.
My thing is this. And in defense of women, I believe men have to see women through her eyes and not their own. That's the connection. He gets me. He sees the world the way I see it.
True.
He's got to understand who she is as a woman, her expectations, and what validates her as a woman. And I think when men take that leap to understand that, then they'll know the woman better, they'll know what her expectations are, and they know how to deliver those expectations. But at the same time, a man can't help a woman if he can't see through his own eyes. And so he's got to know his own vision and what it takes for him to help enhance that woman's life. And I think that's the foundation of our relationships from the perspective of how a man should see things as well as how a woman should understand things. So I just think that's my say on it.
And let
So-
me say something. Let me say something with that. I was telling you about my past. Me today, like you say, romantic. That's me. Women's love me. You hear me? Period. You know what I'm saying?
That was your
That was
younger
my
day.
past. That's when I was a little kid coming up here. You know what I'm saying? Today, I work 2 jobs. You hear
I know
me?
you. I know you.
Bored.
I know you. We go back.
Get a bag. I get a
go
bag.
back.
So that when I said a bag, I get a bag. I'm about a bag. I got 2 bank accounts. I'm
Right.
on my shit.
Yeah, I
You know what
got
I'm
you.
saying? That's the past. I don't.
I want
We
Mitch.
got
I
you.
want
I got
Mitch.
you.
I'm gonna
I
walk
got
to the
you.
fellas,
Come
and we're
on,
gonna have
Mitch.
everybody
What
with
you
their
got to say,
last.
Mitch? Go ahead, Mitch.
Who I love tremendously. So
Mhm.
my interaction with women is based on that fact. So I treat women accordingly. How I would want my baby girl to be treated. It's really simple as that.
That's what real.
Vince.
It's simple for me. When it comes down to relationship, life is about queens and kings. Queens are considered to be a certain royalty. And if a man can treat a woman like that, there's nothing that she wouldn't do for him.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side of that, if a woman can treat the man like the king he is and respect that, there's nothing that he wouldn't do for her.
That's right.
It's not a power struggle. It's about, this is what I'm offering you as my love. And it's about choice, but it's also about respect.
Respect and love.
Because most people and most relationships go they go the different direction when trust is not there and the respect is not there. If a man is not respected in his home, then he might wander off out of his home to see if he can replace.
Instead of sitting there thinking, what is he doing? Or-
And hold up, and if a woman is not respected in her home these days, they got that song out, women are players too. So the mentality, so
No, they shouldn't.
yeah, so the mentality of the woman has changed over the last few decades. They're not gonna sit there and take that what a supposed to be man is presenting to them. I'm not saying a real man, but I'm saying someone who proceeded to be something that they're not, a wolf in sheep's clothing. And so, what that's saying is that if you respect that person, man, and if you love that person, then you're willing to bring what you bring to the table, and you can bring growth out of that. That's basically
Beautiful
what I'm
said.
saying.
Well spoken. I need you, TJ.
I don't know where to start with, so let me try to keep this short. Piggybacking off my brother here, my brother Vincent, he's right. I think he was further expressing the law of equivalent exchange. If she's expecting for you to treat her like this queen, then he would expect to be treated like a king. But let's not act like we don't cross the line where she's treating you like a king, but you're not treating her like a queen, and vice versa. But the thing about it is when we pick these characters that we want to be king and queen, understand this. We fall in love with the vanity of being a king and queen. What were they? They were noble, moral leaders.
Yeah.
It has to come from your morals. So some of us, not myself, but some of us are Christians in the house, right?
Right here.
And so you got Proverbs 31:10, where it's telling you how to value a woman. And it's talking about her virtues, her values. That's what's gonna essentially control what she does and why she does it. As Roy said, see it how she sees it. In order to see things how she sees it, what does she value? Because if she values this or values that or values no BS, as my lovely sister here said, then she's not going to move like that. You see what I'm saying? You're seeing what she values. So when we talk about getting to know someone, a big part of that is getting to know what they value. And this goes on.
Well, both of them, both ways.
Right. And this goes on the man's
And I
part
just
too.
them.
What does he value? And if he values a PlayStation 5, well, shit, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
It ain't just them.
So when we want to be kings and queens, understand what that means. There's the flashy part, the vanity. There's nothing wrong with that. But this means you have to have a high, noble, or moral character. That's not easy. That ain't fun. That crown is heavy. I can't fit that. Right? So we have to make sure that we're stepping up and being able to be the best versions of ourselves. And some of us are still going through versions of ourselves. And we don't want to jump in a relationship when we're on version 7 and this person on version 11.
Come on.
So then you get mixed outcomes. Sometimes she upgrades and they get right there. Sometimes you don't. So see what I'm saying? So when you jump in these relationships, oh yeah, it's like a cocktail. You don't know what's going to come out of it. You don't know what's going on in this. You know what I mean? It's
and I don't want to argue with you. I want to know why we argue. Why did we argue?
Yeah. So I think that just to end, I think what's important is so in the media today, you hear a lot about the term gaslighting, which is a borrowed psychological term, right? You don't hear about the antithesis of that, which is introspection. Which respectfully could be difficult for some more than others, which means to think about the way you think and why you think that, or think about why you act like this. That can be harder, it's harder, it's easier said than done. So I'll respect that. But when you start questioning yourself, you don't give her a chance to question you and what you're doing. Because you're trying to, you know what I mean? You don't give him a chance to
You're trying to make it right.
Because
you
you're
want it
working
right.
as quote unquote working on
because I love you, I care about
you. That's why I act like that. It's because this person in this past made me paranoid like that. That's why I
the key to all that is know thyself. Know thyself.
Know thyself.
And nobody else can shape your mindset.
You don't know yourself. That's why you get in the mirror.
Know yourself.
You go in the mirror. You say, who am I?
I want to move the conversation to the ladies now. Maria?
Well, I enjoy everyone's perspective on relationships. Everyone's perception of relationships, I feel, is highly different because we're not dating the person that they are dating, so we don't see what they see when they talk about seeing relationships, and men see things in a different way, in a different what was it? Like,
Through their eyes?
You know what you're talking about.
So, I just feel overall love has no boundaries. Going into something, you just never know the outcome. And that's as realistic as it gets for me.
Okay. Sway, what's up, Sway?
I gotta get to know you before I come in. We're gonna be friends first.
Off with these two gentlemen said too. I would add to that communication and understanding, because so many people, they listen to respond instead of listening to actually understand, or what I should say, understand. Like how he broke down the word relationship, breaking it down like with understanding what someone is saying. So just, you guys are communicating, just sit there and just listen. And even if you don't understand or not, take a step back and maybe take 2 days or something, take time and just reflect on what they said. You don't have to take in everything. Like, say if they're coming to you and they say, oh, you did this.
Talking.
It can just be like, okay, I hear you. Give me a minute to reflect on what you said, and then come back and like, okay, I understand what you said, and go from there, if that makes sense.
I think from my perspective, it's about self-love. When you have that self-love and you know who you are as a person, and I think you could bring that to your relationship, but you gotta love yourself first. You cannot go into a relationship without loving yourself first.
Amen.
And expecting, because if you don't love yourself, how you gonna love the next person? You're not a whole person. You gotta come into a situation whole. I don't believe that we need to dumb ourselves down to make a man feel secure within himself. I feel like if he's with a strong woman, that should add, not take away. It should be a plus. So it's about respect, self-love, and when you come and you bond, not bringing that trauma bond, as Lily was saying, not bringing that into the relationship, just heal yourself first. It could be two bosses. It could be two bosses. There's no wrong with two bosses.
Me and you, the queen.
That's right. Queen and the king.
Lindsay?
For me, I say there is no right way, there is no wrong way. No one has a book for it. what works for you, might not work for someone else. As long as someone is showing up and you are showing up 100% emotionally, physically, spiritually, in all aspects.
I'm sorry.
I can ask someone a relationship question tomorrow and you can give me an answer. And I can think it's wrong. So do what works for you. And make the best of it.
Okay.
I don't care.
Bring us home, girl.
Wait.
Wait.
And have boundaries. Boundaries say a lot. It's like laws. Have some damn boundaries with yourself. Come on now.
I agree. Boundaries is definitely important, but I don't give not two fucks. Okay. I'm gonna need you to love yourself, read these books, 4 Agreements, Mastery of Self, Mastery of Love, because everybody come with all these extra expectations. It's always about the other person and not about themselves. Literally. I don't give not two fucks. As long as you're working on yourself, we could both do this together.
She telling the truth though.
Is the love of my life out there, my twin flame?
No, she telling
We
the truth.
here and we gonna make this shit work together, nigga. For real.
That's what's up. Everybody, That's what's up. Roy and I want to thank everybody, Two Sides of the Coin, Luana and Sway, the crew, for all you wonderful people coming through to the show today. It's been a wild one. It's been a lot of fun. We've been looking forward to this. By the way, to announce to everybody and especially our audience, this is a series. There will be a continuation of this. There's going to be a part 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. We want to continue to bring this to everybody about relationships and the importance of it and the dynamic of it, of what we're all dealing with today. It's a very important topic to Roy and I. We talked about this when we talked about launching a podcast. Will be topical, and relationships will be a part of that. So I want to thank everybody for coming in.
Oh, okay.
Are we gonna forward this to Michael B. Jordan?
Hold on.
I'm still available.
So, and again, thanking everybody for coming today. Fabulous guest. The ladies, thank you. You're amazing, stunning. You have very important opinions.
Fellas,
We
y'all
respect that.
brought it home.
And the brothers brought it. The brothers
Brought
brought
it home.
And with that, Roy, you got anything else to say?
Peace.
Peace,
Everybody,
everybody.
peace sign.
Everybody, peace.
I love you,
Peace,
Michael B.
peace.
Jordan.
That's what's up.
If you come by, I love you.
Okay. Everybody.
We out. Two sides of the same coin.
We out.
We coming.